Give your attention to Sheriff James Stuart.
I'm about this tall.
Talk so we can hear you.
How about now?
How's that sound?
All right, well, thank you very much for not only being here today, but for allowing me to be here in front of you. I'm privileged to serve as your elected sheriff of a county in which our law enforcement and our broader public safety community works so well together. You see, we have a long-standing history of embracing what it means to work together for a common goal, and that's to protect and to serve you and your families to the absolute best of our ability. While we have embraced cooperation in Anoka County public safety, this trend is not as common everywhere. In recent years, the trends we're seeing across our country and the behaviors that we are allowing as a nation should be a source of concern. A few years back, I predicted that if we allow our protectors to be wrongly portrayed as our enemies, there would be consequences. My fear was that our youth who desired to serve our communities would stop seeking a college degree for a career that was no longer seen as noble. My fear was that the good-hearted people who sought careers protecting others would reconsider when they were literally spat upon by those that they sought to protect. And my fear was that the candidate pool for good law enforcement candidates would begin to dry up and diminish. And my fear was that we would have to consider lowering our standards for peace officer selection because nobody would want to be a peace officer in communities where peace does not exist. My fear is becoming a reality. Today we have declining numbers of people enrolling into these college programs and substantially fewer candidates to choose from as we seek to fill increasing numbers of job vacancies. I fear now that we have scary times ahead of us unless we see leaders start to lead and to embrace facts rather than propaganda, like the good senators that you will hear from later tonight. We must embrace and stand up for one simple truth. Our protectors are not our enemies. Across our nation, we have about 1 million law enforcement officers serving our communities in a variety of agencies in a variety of ways. They conduct millions and millions of contacts every single day, oftentimes in the face of uncertainty, anger, and hostility. Yet, the use of force incidents are very rare, and deadly force incidents even more rare. Find me any other profession who has such a positive rate of success stories, especially in the face of such adversity. Our protectors are asked to wear many different types of hats every single day. They're expected to be coaches, accident investigators, firefighters, educators, protectors, court experts, technology gurus, mediators, referees, enforcers, medics, detectives, advocates, counselors, you get the idea. And they're expected to be tough enough to chase and catch the meanest bad guys, while being tender enough to gently give a death notification, to arrest the abusive husband while encouraging the child who just watched that domestic unfold, to investigate a horrific crash, immediately providing first aid to the victims at the same scene, after providing that first aid, and to always be polite on a traffic stop, even if it happens right after having done CPR on an infant. They're expected to wear all of these hats without making mistakes or doing anything that would even be perceived as a mistake by those who criticize, as they criticize without any formal law enforcement training or education. You see, our protectors sacrifice on our behalf every day, and they do it gladly, without regard to your background, your income, your skin color, or even how you think about them. Dallas recently showed us clearly the heart of our protectors that I'm speaking about. The officers stood guard to protect the rights of those who gathered to protest, yell, and swear at them. Yet when the shots began to ring out, the protesters sought out those same protectors who instinctively put themselves in harm's way to protect the lives of the people who moments before were filled with hate for those same protectors. I've had the privilege to work alongside these men and women for decades, and they will always rise to the challenge in order to protect and serve you and me and our families, even if the cost equals their own life. This is not a job, it is a calling, and we need to be visible and vocal in our support of them, rather than letting the media or others promote division and distrust. And we need law enforcement leaders to work with communities, as we do in Anoka County, to ensure that positive relationships are not only explored, but fostered. And we need to make sure that our protectors are treated and compensated fairly in order to recruit and retain the good people who are willing to work as ambassadors in our communities. We need to elect leaders who stand up for our protectors. Anyone can, and they often do, speak about supporting law enforcement and recognizing that public safety is a core function of government. However, we need to take the time to learn which candidates are actually willing to put their words into action. And we all need to stand together to pursue positive impacts in our communities. In simplest terms, united we will succeed, but divided we will fail. It is tragic enough, excuse me, it is tragic enough that we would fail our communities, but we would also fail our future generations in such a way that our streets would take decades to recover if we ever did. I do not intend to create fear or anger. However, I do hope to create discussion, because it is concerning to me as your county's chief law enforcement officer to see my predictions coming true. Our discussions and our partnerships will make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, our protectors are still honorable and noble professionals that I am privileged to work with every day, and I can tell you with confidence that they remain worthy of our trust and our partnership. For our protectors here today, those who serve and protect in our communities, and those who have served our country in our armed forces, thank you. I am, and I'd say we are, so grateful for your service. And for those who came out today to show them love, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to spend some time here today and support our protectors as they support us. We are all in this together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.